ripple effect of love for dads and families. Today, we look at the power of emotional presence in episode 102. Woohoo! Moving up there. Thank you. I'm Christine Berna, stress management coach, and much more. I got delayed. I was reading something on LinkedIn where somebody is finally posting that there are other solutions than managing um, pain with pills. You've got to look at the core issue. And emotions is one of them. So I lost track of time, but I'm here, I'm with you. And dads, I want to know why just being there is important or not important. So, being physically present in a place, an environment, isn't the same as being emotionally present. There's a huge distinction to be made with your children, your partner, spouse. You know that your kids can tell when you're distracted, and that distance affects them more than you may think. So let's talk about how you can truly show up for your children. But first, think back. When you're talking and no one's listening, can you tell they're not listening? Hmm. So your kids are smart, right? They can tell you're not listening. Remember those, yeah, and you're like, oh, they didn't listen. They obviously didn't. Or they think they're listening, but they're not really present. They say yes. And then you ask them 5 minutes later a question about the sentence or two you said, and they have no idea. They were not present, 100% present when you were talking. So, what it really means to be emotionally present is you are there with your mind and your emotions. You're listening out of curiosity. You're curious to what else they're going to say. That's what it means. Because if we think about it, um, when you were little, could you tell if your mom or dad were not listening to you? Today, can you tell if your boss is really listening to you or just motioning because they're reading something else? Now, I know there's a distinction to be made here. I remember this one student. There aren't many of them. There weren't many of them in my career. But this one child said, oh, but Miss Christine, I can do 3 things at once. And I'm like, okay. So I let him continue. I don't know what he was doing. And then I was talking and I asked him a question and he answered perfectly. So he had proved to me that he could. And then when other students said to me, oh, but Christine, that's not fair. He gets to draw or he gets to whatever it is he's doing while you talk. Yes, but he can remember and hear what I said. His brain is able to do that. Can you do that? And then they'd say, no. Okay, then that's why you need to put everything down, focus at the front, and, be present. And with your children, ask them to help you be emotionally present. Another little trick that might be fun is to listen to them and ask them a question or look for, wow, I'm so proud that you thought of that or did that, or, keep looking while they're talking to you for something that you're proud of them doing. Yes, sometimes they'll do things we're not proud of. But in all of those things they talk about, there is usually one aspect that we can say, oh, I'm proud of you. You stopped to think. That's really cool, right? And next time, what do you want to do about it? Do you want the same outcome? Do you want a different outcome? This way, we're teaching them to choose to think about the future as well. So, emotionally listening, emotionally present with your emotions. How do you feel when they're talking to you? Can you notice how you feel when your child is talking to you? Of course, when they're yelling or like, I had enough, stops, go to your room, whatever you may want to say. And sometimes it's good to have a timeout so that we can deal. So I'm getting off track. I'm going to get back to this because I need to stay focused today. So, why do you think kids remember connection and not perfection? Mm. Maybe they remember both, right? Some kids will, as they become older into the teen years, will say, yeah, or into the early 20s, they will bring up things because they're ready to heal that part, to let it go, to get closure on it. And it's important that we be very, very emotionally present in those moments for our teens and young adults. But I want you right now to just think of a moment you can remember feeling emotionally connected with your child. Maybe it was a few minutes ago, maybe it was weeks, months ago, it doesn't matter. I just want you to take a moment right now with me and breathe that in. How did you feel when you felt emotionally connected with your child? And for some of us, it can be many years ago, and that's okay. But I want you to do this little exercise, and I'll tell you why. So you might want to close your eyes, think of a moment, even if your children are adults, you can do this. Breathe it in. This allows your brain to register the joy you felt in that moment very deeply, or a lot more, in you. And then, how did you feel that you were emotionally present there? Didn't that feel amazing to just be emotionally present? Yeah. So this allows more dopamine. Your brain will start looking when we stop and pause to celebrate these mini successes. They can be mini, they can be big, but it is so important for the brain to register the dopamine and of the success so that it's kind of looking out for it consciously and unconsciously. Okay. So now, yes, so. I know I say that a lot, don't I? To shift from being distracted to fully engaged. What do you think I'm going to suggest? Those who know me, snap, tap, sorry, and zap, letting it go. I want you to think of a moment you want to create in your near future to be more emotionally present, whether it be today or this weekend or the next time you see your child, if you have shared custody, right? Should take a deep breath. Let's snap. And how does that make you feel? Are you excited? Or are you like, okay, when they arrive, there's 1,000 things that need to get done, blah, 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 blah. Are you present when you're doing your to-do list and giving out orders to everybody? Sometimes taking 5 minutes to be present before we get into the to-do list with everyone might be very wise. And what if, okay, I'll come back. Give me a sec here. So we're going to breathe in. Do you feel any resistance to being fully present, emotionally present, right? Some of you may not, because you have practiced being emotionally present for a long time. Maybe you had emotionally present parents, or you learned it before you had your kids. Kudos to you. Congratulations. Keep going. But if you have not developed this or are in the process of developing it, The reason why I'm having you do snap, tap, zap to breathe in, pay attention to your body. Can you feel any aches, pains anywhere in your body right now? Because you have, yeah, you do, a little bit of resistance to being able to create this emotionally present moment with your child. So it's okay. Take a deep breath. Notice where it is. Thank your body for showing you where it is, because that's the most important part here. And then put it on the spiraling train or the hot air balloon. Let it go. Because if you're trying to create something and there's resistance, there may be some big challenges happening for you. So let's just breathe in, relax, relax the shoulders, and exhale any resistance that you have. Breathe in, scanning. Pretend you have x-ray vision. Scan from the tip of your toes to the top of your head. Relax your shoulders and exhale the resistance to what it is that you want to create with your child. So we've been talking about the emotional presence. So how can you create that? What would that look like? If your brain is starting to think of awesome ideas, excellent. The pain in your body might have gone, or the tension. Sometimes it's just like, oh, my shoulders were tight. Now they're relaxed. Excellent. Sometimes it might be one shoulder and then move to the next and then to the toe. Doesn't matter. When it's moving around in your body, it means that it's almost ready to be released. So I encourage you to continue to snap. I got this. Breathe in and relax. Excellent. So once you feel calm, this is when you can start creating. So I was talking a little bit earlier, kids get home, there's this to-do list, there's hockey tonight, or there's soccer, or swimming, whatever, music lessons, supper needs to be done, homework needs to be done. What if you take 5 minutes to take a snack with your children and ask them what their highlight of their day is? Ask them if they need a hug, and then say, okay, this is our schedule tonight. Who can help me out, and how can we help each other out so that this goes smoother? They know what needs to be done, and they've been able to be heard and seen. And they've been fed a little bit. Like raw veggies are perfect for a snack so that it won't cut their appetite for the meal. It will maybe only even open it up, drink some liquids, and then see if, sometimes it may take a little longer. I agree. This might be a slippery slope, but it can also be, okay, so tonight when I'm driving, can you be the one telling me what happened, that I don't have time right now to listen because I want to make sure you get to your swimming lessons on time? Or so those are some other easy um, to implement. Instead of having the devices, they can be having a conversation with you and enjoying that time with you. Okay. So what is it let me see, what's my question today? What's one way you make your child feel truly seen and heard? And I'd love for you to share that in the chat, whether you're on LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube. Please share that so that you can um, help other dads who are looking for solutions. You might have a brilliant idea that someone else hasn't thought of, including myself, right? And I want you also to check in with your children, spouse, partner, if they also feel seen and heard the way you perceive it. Because sometimes we perceive things in a certain way, and their brains may perceive it in a different way, and that's okay. But what's really important is to check in when you have time, not when you're in a rush, but when you know you've got like half an hour or an hour drive somewhere is a good time to check in. And then if they say, no, I don't feel seen or heard, instead of look at them. What if you just breathe, tap, right? And ask them, oh, is there anything I can do differently that would make you feel seen and heard? That's easy for us to implement. And I want you to add that word, easy for us to implement, because you don't want a complicated thing where they're spending, you have to spend 48 hours with them for them to feel seen and heard. Okay. If they do, they need support in a whole different way. Book a call, a discovery call, and we'll see how we can help you. And I'll see how I can help you. It's not a we, it's just me. So, on that note, I hope you have a great end of day and have an amazing weekend. And I will see you Monday